Hey, online crew, let's talk about closing sales today. How many of you have people that are interested in maybe what you have, but you just don't get to close the sale? The actual transaction at the end doesn't take place because people go quiet or they disappear or they're not answering you anymore. They showed some initial interest, but you just didn't manage to close the sale. So let's have a chat about how you can improve that. The difference between getting somebody's attention regarding what you've got and closing the sale is different. I do want to sort of clarify that. The way you attract people to you to get interested in what you've got is a totally different conversation to closing the sale. So let's just kind of make that clear. We're talking about closing the sale once you've got somebody that's interested. So this is not a conversation about how do you attract more people to you to like close the sale instantly. This is, okay, I've had some people raise their hand. I've got some people that are kind of interested, but I just can't get them over the line. Is that relatable to some of you? Like, can you, have you had those experiences where you've had somebody that's kind of interested and then they've got cold? I've had people in my team that have make amazing connections and have heaps of people reach out for things, but they never sell anything. It's like, what's going on here? You're not closing the sale. So what's the missing piece? So I want to make you aware of some of the things that you need to do to fill in the gap to give you more of an opportunity to close the sale. Okay. Now think about when you buy. What's the reason that you buy stuff? When you put your hand in your pocket, your hard-earned cash, and pay for something, why do you do that? Or if you go and, look for something, why are you looking for it? The crux of selling and somebody buying your thing, your service, going into business with you, whatever it is, the reason somebody will buy something off you or join your team or whatever it is that you're doing is because whatever you are selling, whatever it is, solves a problem that they've got. Okay, now I know you know that, but I'm emphasizing that for a reason. The reason why people buy, hand over, whatever it is, hand over their money for a service, an opportunity, a product, whatever it is because they believe their money in buying that thing is going to solve a problem that they've got. Everything you buy does that. Think about that for a minute. Am I right? Everything that you buy solves something for you. You buy food because you get hungry. Hungry is your problem. You buy drinks because you're thirsty. People buy your stuff. Like, what are you sharing? What are you selling? What does your stuff do? It solves a problem of some sort, even a business opportunity. What problem does it solve? It helps people generate an income because they might not be able to pay their bills. So how do you close more sales? How good are you at connecting the dots from your potential buyer to the problem that you're solving for them? What's your words, your language, your emotion, your conversation? If it's a social media post, if it's maybe you've got automation, maybe you've got ads that are out there or something, like how good are the words on that to get somebody to act? People will act when they believe that your thing is going to solve a problem for them. So how good are you? What are your skills like with connecting what you have and the problem that you're solving? Now, I'll give you an example. Put something out in your stories, put a reel out there, put a live video out there, you put a post out there, and you've got some wording on it that gets somebody to raise their hand. Oh, that looks interesting. Oh, what is that? Most people in this industry when somebody goes, oh, what's in that? Can I have them some information? You just give them the information. Do people connect with information, or do they connect with the problem that you're solving? You already know the answer to that because I already told you before. So information will not close the sale. Sending somebody the link to your website does not close the sale. Giving somebody more information about the thing does not close the sale. What closes the sale? The emotional connection between what you have and what problem you're solving for the individual. Now, if you're lucky enough to get somebody, you've got an automated process, they click on a link and they buy, amazing. There must have been some wording or something on that thing that they've like, I need this, I need to buy this, and they buy because they've already made the connection. Now, what happens on social media is a lot of people in this industry will put out stories and posts and live videos talking about things. They get some curiosity. Somebody might raise their hand and go, well, that looks interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more? And you flood them with information and they never buy because people don't connect with information. They connect when they believe whatever you have is going to solve their problem. So what do you need to do? Don't just go and flood people with information, more documentation, or a link to a website initially. That should be your last point of call, is to send, in this industry of social selling, in this industry, your website should be the last place somebody goes because they're already ready to buy, because you've done such a good job of making that connection between what you have and what problem it solves for them that they are ready to buy. Do you understand that? So even when I put something out on my stories or on a reel and somebody asks me for some information, depends what platform I'm on, what kind of content it is given. Like on TikTok, I get a lot of automated sales. Okay, awesome. That's the platform to do that. Brilliant. I'll take that any day. On Facebook, I'll do a story or a reel and somebody's like, oh, what, I'm curious. Can you share a little bit more information about that with me? I won't just then reply and give them a link to my website or some more information. I will go back to them and say, sure, I'm happy to provide some more information, with you, but just checking in just to make sure this is the right kind of thing for you. Can you share with me, what you're trying to actually solve? Like, are you suffering with these things, or is this something that, you're dealing with, or something? Like, ask a question and connect with the person and the problem that they have. Continue that conversation. If it's automated, it's a different conversation, okay? But if you're on social media, you're newer, somebody slightly raises their hand, you have that conversation. And then when they start telling you about their problem, what you say next is, oh, tell me a little bit more about that. What's going on there? Get them to go deeper into their problem. So then you can say, okay, so from what you're telling me regarding XYZ, whatever they've told you, this would be a perfect solution for you because it does this and it does this and it does that. You have gone to a whole different level with the value of what you have and how it can solve their problem. That's how you get closer to closing the sale. If you don't make that connection, you might get people that are interested, but they may never, ever buy. People perceive value. When they perceive value, they buy. And when they believe that you've got something that will solve a problem for them, they will buy. If you go straight from somebody raising their hand to giving them your website link, good luck. It's not how you're going to close. Well, you might get lucky. You might close a sale, but most people will land on a company website. And what do they naturally do? What are they going to look at first? When you send somebody to a company website too early, unless it's, like TikTok and it's an automated thing and they know they already want it because you're content was so good. What's missing? What if you send somebody to a company website too early, you get somebody slightly raise their hand and go, oh, I'm interested, or you do a great curiosity post about something new that you found or that you're involved in, or that helps somebody with their health or lose weight or gut health or anti-aging or whatever it is. And somebody raises their hand and asks you for some information and you send them straight to your company website. What do they look at first? Somebody put it in the comments section. What does the natural human brain dial in on first when somebody looks at a company website with a whole lot of products with pictures and the, well done, Dean, price? You haven't gone deep enough in the connection between your product and what it will do for them yet to value the price. When people value something, they will pay. People will pay more than they need to when they believe that something is really going to help them. It's your job to close that sale, to connect with the person between what you have and what the thing will do and solve for them. That's how you close more sales. So if you are talking to people, you're having conversations, or you're even getting connections from social medias, you put a reel out there and you get a connection, try to create a conversation around that, unless it's an automated funnel in some way. Ask them, let people know you care. When you ask somebody a question and say, look, yeah, sure, I'm happy to provide you with some more information, but I just want to make sure this is going to be a good fit for what you're looking for. You know, what are you actually experiencing? What are you looking for? You know, what's going on for you? And they might say, yeah, I'm looking older, younger, like I want to try to look younger longer, or I've really stacked on the weight and oh, okay. Tell me more about that. You will close more sales when you go deeper and you are showing, you know, to somebody that you care. And so when you get somebody slightly raising an issue of theirs, if you can say something like, oh, sure, you know, tell me a little bit more about that. What's going on for you? You're caring, they will go deeper into their problem. Then you can say, okay, so I really get that. I understand that. I've been where you was. I was struggling with the same things. And this for me has done that. So I don't doubt from what you've shared with me, this would be a really good solution for you because of XYZ. You've now connected your thing with their problem and deepened that. Now you've created value. Now they'll buy. Too many people in this industry are just sending people to their company website. And you wonder why people don't buy. Because you haven't made a deep enough connection between what you have and what you're solving for the other person. So if you want to close more sales, care more. If you want to close more sales, bring in more emotion than information. Information is just information, and you will lose a lot of people with just bombarding them with information. A PDF, a video, they have their place. Don't get me wrong. They have their place in all of this, but it's not what's going to close the sale for you. So one of the best skills that you can learn is to open that door for a conversation, connect and ask questions to establish the need. And then when you've got the need, you go deeper and you say something like, oh, tell me a little bit more about that. How is that affecting you? You keep asking questions to go deeper and deeper, and you really get the person to open up, so then you can cater your solution to their problem. That's how you're going to get more sales. Does that make sense to those of you that are listening? Does that resonate with any of you about any missing pieces that you might have? I do appreciate that this is a closing conversation, and some of you might need to work on the attraction part first. Maybe you don't have people that are reaching out to you saying, oh, okay, what is that? I'm curious. If you don't have that, then you need to go back and work on your content and your messaging. And it's all related, because your messaging, your headlines, your attention grabbers, your ability to call out people's problems in your content is what gets people to raise their hand in the first place. Maybe that's what you need to work on first. It's the wording that you have on your social media posts and your stories and your content and your reels that calls out the problem that people go, oh, yeah, that's me. So they do raise their hand. Now you've got a little bit of a nibble, but a nibble doesn't mean you're going to make the sale unless you fill in the gaps with all the other things that I just shared with you. Okay? Karina, absolutely. It's building up the trust. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Information is just information. I can get information from anywhere. I could go to a website and get information. Don't send people to your website too early. It's just information. It's just words and prices. And probably pictures of, if you're in a product-based business, it's just pictures of bottles that nobody knows what they do. It's got a name on it and it's got a price underneath it. So if somebody, you've done a great curiosity post about a new business that you're in. And people go, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'll send you my website. No, do not do that. They don't even really know what you do. They don't even really know what problems you solve. They'll just go to your website and look at pictures of bottles, if it's a product-based business, and prices underneath it, and they're gone. Well, that's too expensive. Most products in this industry are at a higher price because of the model that we're in. But they're generally better quality products. But you've got to sell that to somebody because they know they can get something similar maybe in a supermarket or a health food shop if you're in that kind of business model. You know what I mean? So you've got to value stack. You've got to build the value. You've got to care. People will buy when they perceive value. So how are you perceiving value on social media, through your wording, through your content, through your conversations? I really hope you're understanding, this conversation of it's your job to close more sales, to care, have a conversation, put calls to action on all your content. If you would like more information, put the word XYZ down below. Put it on TikTok, put it on your stories, put it on your reels, put it on your curiosity posts, put calls to action and get people to raise their hand. That's what attraction marketing is all about. You get people to raise their hand. But getting people to raise their hand and getting them to put their hand in their pocket and pay you are two very different things. It's a totally different skill level, being able to close the sale to getting people to raise their hand. So if you're not getting enough people to raise their hand, work on the wording of your posts and your reels and things like that to call out the pain and have that conversation. So then you can get somebody to raise their hand and then take it further from that. But honestly, people will only buy from people that they know, like, and trust. That's your job. Okay. Yes, Nicolina, writing content is so important. It's everything. What you say from your mouth or the words that you put on social media will make or break your business. Getting really good at your attention grabbers and your hooks with calling out somebody's problem, connecting the problem with what you have, putting out a call to action for somebody to ask for some more information, but then doing the follow-up, going deeper, establishing a need, having that conversation, like talk to the people and have conversations. Two of the biggest things that I talk about here constantly that you need is content and conversations. Now, if your content is not bringing you the conversations, you need to work on your content. Ideally, what you want to achieve is all your content creates conversations. And then those conversations, because your closing skills, your ability to establish a need and ask questions and connect your solution to their problem, like a marriage made in heaven, now you're going to close more sales. But if your content is not creating conversations, you still need to be evaluating your content. Maybe you're not putting out enough content. Maybe your wording, your attention grabbers, your descriptions, your live videos, your reels, maybe you're not dialed in enough yet with the wording to use. Work on that. because we want your content to create the conversations. And for some of you, if your content is not creating the conversations, go and start some conversations. Too many people sit back and just think attraction marketing is going to build their business for them. You still need to talk to people. And if your content isn't creating the conversations, you might need to initiate some conversations with your network. Okay? I hope this all makes sense and you've got a tip or two out of this in really working on your skill level of closing a sale and how to execute that by connecting what you have with a problem that it solves. So when you're thinking of content and stories and reels and posts and all those kind of things, it's like, what problem do I solve? What problem do I solve? What problem do I solve? Make sure that's in your language. Make sure it's on your reel. Make sure it's in your conversations. What problems are you solving? People will buy when they believe that what you have will solve a problem for them. Other than that, if you just bombard them with all this extra information, you're not getting to the point. You're not going to close the sale. Okay? All right. Julie, thank you. Very helpful. Awesome. Amazing. So thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. And I really just encourage you to listen to this, take it on board and practice it. Okay. You've really got to dial in with those conversational skills and just don't send somebody to your company website too early because it'll destroy the sale potentially. Okay. Thank you for, again, listening. This is my last live video of the week. So make sure you turn up next week, same time, same place for more great social media content. Have a great weekend. Bye.